In the far-flung reaches of the world, it's not impossible to encounter a Guyanese who left these shores in search of a better life. Research shows that between 1965 and the year 2000, approximately 550,000 citizens left Guyana to settle abroad. As a result of this massive emigration of people, Guyana suffered from one of the highest levels of brain drain in the world.
Any country such as ours, a developing country, losing one skill can have an impact. And unfortunately in our country, we've lost many skills, we've lost some of our brightest minds who today, and even if you look over the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years, have been able to go and make a significant contribution to other countries, to industries across the world, to international institutions. And that brain drain has retarded our country's development.
A recent report by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, in Washington, D.C., revealed that an estimated 90% of Guyanese with a tertiary level education and 40% with a secondary education emigrated from Guyana between 1965 and 2000. But this negative trend is beginning to reverse itself. The story of Guyana's brain drain now has a new headline: Guyana's brain gain. That gain starts with experts like Tashpal Dayaram. Dayaram has returned after 30 years abroad and brings with him a wealth of expertise in geotechnical surveying. His business, registered as GeoEnviro Support Services, began in 2021. Dayaram's company works closely with government agencies and other major contractors to ensure quality control in both environmental and civil work development.
Over 30 years ago, I was a junior lab attendant with the Ministry of Public Works. Actually, I started my career sweeping out the lab like the guys are doing when the guys finish working. But I love soils, I love what we do. And like anybody else during that era, and I'm talking about the 80s into the early 90s, we all looked for an opportunity because there was pretty much no opportunity here at that time for guys like myself, for the technocrats and the technical team.
Dayaram said that he always knew Guyana had immense potential, a conviction that has propelled him back to the shores of his motherland. With this growth, it became obvious that there would be a surge in demand for construction, and inevitably, the demand for geotechnical surveys would grow. Over the last 3 years, Dayaram's team would run rigorous tests on soil, stones, asphalt, and even concrete to ensure its readiness for construction activities.
That's the whole objective of us coming here, to help our government, to help our people. At the end of the day, we are helping Guyanese to make sure, like myself and all the staff, to make sure what they're paying their taxes for, to pay for these roads, they're getting what they pay for. We don't want to be here next year and doing back the same road we did this year. We have gone through those phases of bad construction. The government has the ability, the government has the right vision, they're spending money in the right places. At the end of the day, they're encouraging people like ourselves. Say, young man, you're Guyanese, you want something to do? There's a part for you to play in our development. Come here and help us to ensure we get quality for our money.
So far, more than 20 young people have been employed by Dayaram's company. They're gaining significant insights and training from the experience of this one remigrant.
Being someone who always stay in touch with both migration, remigration, volume, population growth, population spread in the country, I can safely say that during my time, and I would go right back into the 80s, into the early 90s, 2000, all the way down into the middle of that decade, there was a massive brain drain, and people would do anything it takes to get a visa or some way of leaving Guyana. If you ask me, I have almost 21 staff here. I always ask them, would you like to go to Canada? Yes, boss, we like to go visit, but we want to come back home. This time around, it's different.
A new generation of returning Guyanese citizens will ultimately add new skills and expertise in areas such as business, finance, construction, healthcare, and administration.
Given the transformation, the expansion of the economy, the new areas of activities taking place across the country as a whole, already we've seen some members of the diaspora responding to that in terms of not only returning, but also what we see too is a renewed interest of the second generation, their children, their offspring, who would have gone and further qualified themselves, who've developed businesses, who've developed network, and they too have expressed an interest, and we're seeing that slow influx.